We're ready. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss very cool concept how we can protect the soul of our organization. That is the school. That is through the school bus test. School bus test. What would happen if the visionary leader of your company or family was suddenly hit by a school bus? Would we would the organization survive or would it lose its soul? This is the ultimate test of lasting success. When Steve Jobs was famously pushed out of Apple in 1980s, the board replaced him with John Scully, a brilliant business executive who had successfully sold Pepsi for years. Scully was a master of marketing, but he did not share Jobs' reliable, rebellious soul. Under Scully's Apple Under Scully, Apple stood trying to change the world and just tried to sell computers. Morale plummeted and the company almost died. A similar thing happened when Bill Gates stepped away from the daily operations at Microsoft. Without Gates, their two constantly remind everyone why they were building the technology to help everyday people reach their potential. Microsoft become just another software company focused on profits. True succession is not about replacing a leader's business skill. It is about finding someone who will fiercely protect the original cause. So if that is not happening, then definitely we will not see the same growth that were initially um, attained by the founder of the organization. And I have seen the same thing, same principle holds very rightly and very tightly for the spiritual organizations also. Many of the spiritual organizations also diluted their core value when the founder have passed away and some successor took over. So it is very important to stick to the core value if we really want to achieve that kind of success. Yes, there is definitely a room for improvement, and if we know a better core value can be established, and then definitely better growth also can be achieved. It is not that always the same core value that the founder has actually envisioned that is the only or ultimate thing. Now, if we try to revise the core concept from today's session, it is first the school bus test, right? A truly great culture survives long after the charismatic founder or leader leaves the room. If we see this graphics, right?
Yeah.
The problem is this a test of whether a culture is strong enough to survive and uphold its core value long after a charismatic founder or leader leaves the room. So, what is clear to the successor who takes over after that, but why generally it gets diluted? So, the danger of split comes as the organizations grow massively. They often begin to obsess over money and metrics that is the what part, causing the soul of or purpose why part of the company to go fuzzy. So displacement versus succession actually is shown here. The replacement looks very promising from the academic perspective or from the past achievement perspective, but he may or may not be believing on the same core value that the founder of the organization have envisioned for that particular organization. So you cannot simply hire a great resume. True succession requires handing the key to someone who believes in the deeper mission rather than just managing daily tasks. The deeper mission need to be kept at the core. Otherwise, there is definitely loss in enthusiasm that can be observed in every layer of the leadership and the management and the employees also. So, what is the solution here? And yeah, and these two case studies that is mentioned in this infographic that we have just discussed. So visualizing the split, what versus why. What is always money and growth. Why matrix is focusing on the clarity and purpose. What is symbolized here in the orange line, and why is symbolized in the green line. So when actually the founding member is operational, the why is at the peak. But when he left, see how the y actually is going down, and the succession, the growth also decreases, and the split and the post split actually it further decreases. What may be actually rising? For the timing, it may look like yes, it is growing, but from the core, it is getting empty. Just like in Apple, case study we had seen. So the cost of losing the soul is when the why is lost, organizations rely on manipulations, that is carrot and stick practice, to motivate employees, which is effectively only works in the short term and creates massive stress. So what is the solution? Solution is real leadership ego. Real leadership is ego free. Great second generation CEOs do not implement their own vision. They pick up the original banner and lead the company into the next generation. This is one of the solutions. Then teach the why behind the process. To ensure value survives your absence, identify a process you control and teach someone else not just how to do it but why it matters. So that process actually need to be ingrained in the system, and why actually it matters, that also need to be very prominently conveyed to every layer. So now let's come to the reflective questions of the day. So for the first reflection, it says like, if you stepped away from your current role today, would your team continue to uphold your values, or would they just manage the daily tasks? So this has actually two paradigm I can see. People these days actually they do not give everything in the process of KT, even if they are going for 1 month vacation, because they fear that the person who is taking over or will be backing up, they should not be so capable enough that their job will be at risk. There won't be any dependency left. That is one thing which I have observed. So in my leadership journey. And second thing which came to my mind is the risk here. If someone is going on a long vacation, and the team is not understanding the core value of that leader, then they will just follow the daily tasks which are on the table, which came as part of their it's like not priority reactive manner. Whatever comes into the table, they will uh, act on them. But proactively, what a true leader generally does, that might not be narrated by the team. So this is the reflection that we need to do, and we need to take a step towards bridging that gap, be it in the company or be it in our home. The principle should be established in such a way that with or without the presence of the leader, the principle should be executed by everyone. And that can happen only when the why is clear to everyone. If the why is not clear, suppose there is a principle that we establish at home that nobody should watch the mobile while we honor the food, because food is like prasadam and we do not want to dilute its. There are many reasons as to why actually we should not use gadgets during we take honor prasadam, honor food. But if the why, there are the many reasons which we know, if that is not being conveyed to the family to the to that deeper extent, but just if we tell that okay, this is what actually as a family we will be following, and then they will follow when the leader is there, who may be kind of perceived as a leader, and then when that person is absent, then they might not follow also. So why behind the what is really very important. This example automatically comes to my mind just now because I have seen that in practically this happens, and if it is happening without the leader's presence, then that is a true success, I feel. The second reflection for today is, have you ever worked for an organization that lost its soul as it grew bigger, and what did that felt like? So today's section step is identify one process or habit you control at work or home. Teach someone else why it matters today, so the value survives even when you are not around. Even when you are not around. This is what actually we discussed. Oh, wow. Then key quote and interpretation. The last section of today's study is great second or third CEO do not take the helm to implement their own vision of the future. They pick up the original banner and lead the company into the next generation. So the interpretation here is real leadership is ego-free. It is about humbly carrying forward a profound mission rather than trying to make everything about your legacy. So do we have another 5 to 10 minutes just to briefly go to the next session?
Yeah, sorry.
Do we have the time for next session?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
tomorrow we will do? Okay, I think then fine. Let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we will do it quickly, means like at the right time try to start so that we can finish at least 2 to 3 sessions. I don't
Yeah.
want to rush again because this book is really a gem.
No, if those are related images and infographics, then fine. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, if they're related, then we will try to
Yeah.
take up at least 2. If time permits, then 3 also will let us.
Yeah. And yeah, Bikaji, quick one. Yes, I am actually not doing this NLP practitioner again, as you know, yes, I'm working on assignment again, and yeah, do follow this thing, because yeah, I think this time he goes in depth of those topics. Okay,
Oh, wow.
another one compared to the last one. Last one I attended, I think Pawan sir's this thing, but this time I think Mayor is going in depth of those topics. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
and
So,
June and
anime
both
session.
available. So I'm actually following both the recording. There was a June session happened, like 30 day session, which is around eight sessions. Each session is around 2 hours. But this time, yeah, he's a little bit going in depth of those topics. So I think it's useful. So whenever you get time, then yeah.
Certainly. Thanks for the note. Actually, I will try to catch up at the earliest.
But time there is no rush. But yes, I found that different. Yeah.
Is it, are you also planning to attend the August course?
So that one actually, yeah. I
Every
think I
month,
checked
actually,
the
is planning
login
to do it,
details.
right?
Login